Thank you for joining me for today's practice. So today's practice is just a short sequence that will help to release the lower back. It's really good if you've got a bit of back pain to strengthen the lower back as well. So I would recommend doing this sequence with one of the strengthening sequences as well. Okay, so if you do have a block and possibly a strap, have that nearby. Block a little bit more important, but you can still do it without the block as well. Okay, so let's make a start lying down on the back. Just letting the shoulders relax down, and then open the feet out as wide as the mat, outside edges of the feet parallel with the mat, and then let the knees drop in towards one another. Take the arms a little bit away from you, palms facing up, closing down the eyes. Starting to notice your breathing. Trying to take the breath into that lower back area. And this position with the knees dropping in towards one another is a nice simple position that there's a bit of internal rotation through the hips. It tends to just spread open the lower back and the back of the pelvis, making a little bit of space around that sacrum. Just another few breaths here. And then let's open the eyes. Bring the feet in hip distance apart and the heels in a little bit closer towards the sitting bones, placing that right ankle on top of the left thigh, and then reach forward to take hold of that left thigh. If you've got a strap here, if this is a very strong position here, you might just grab your strap and pop it around the thigh. And then what we're going for is starting to extend that left leg up towards the ceiling. So you might stay bent, so feel free to stay bent if you need to. If you can, try to straighten that left heel as high as you can up towards the ceiling. Pressing that right knee away from you a little bit. Just find the breath. So often when we've got a sore lower back, the hips are quite tight as well, so the backs of the legs and then also the glutes. Taking one more inhale here, stay for the exhale. Then bend into that left knee, letting the shin drop in, holding the shin if you can now, and then start to bring the legs in a little bit closer. Let the shoulders relax down. Keep the right foot flexed, but the left foot can be quite relaxed. Feel free to close the eyes. So with each exhale, maybe trying to bring the legs in a little bit closer towards you, but at the same time, continue to press that right knee away from the right shoulder. Taking one more inhale. As you exhale, maybe squeeze the legs in a little bit more. And then let's place that left foot down. And for this next bit, you want to keep the legs exactly the same shape. So it's a little bit tricky. Often the knee ends up sliding down a bit. Keep the ankle glued to the top of that thigh. And then we're going to stand down on this right foot. So you're standing down on that right foot. The legs haven't changed their shape. If you can, hold the outside of that right ankle. If you can't, just let the arm rest down on the floor. It's completely fine. And then let's extend that right arm out to the side, turning the head to look over the right shoulder. You have to be quite active with this right leg. You have to press that right knee away from you, so not letting it drop in. So quite active, pressing down to the sole of the right foot. And we're really just opening up this right hip and kind of coming into that lower back area as well. Taking one more full breath in, stay for the exhale. And then let's inhale, bringing the legs back up through the center and releasing that right leg down. And we'll go to the other side. So placing the left ankle on top of the right thigh, starting to bring the legs in, holding behind that right thigh, and then starting to take that right leg up towards the ceiling. So if you need to keep it bent, do what you need to do. Working towards reaching that right heel up towards the ceiling. Flexing both feet here. Press that left knee away from the left shoulder. Just allow the breathing to be easy. And then let's bend into that right leg. Let the shin drop in, holding the outside of the right shin now if you can, and then bring the legs in a little bit closer. Right foot is relaxed, left foot flexed. And if you can, closing down the eyes and really just trying to feel into the body. Try to press down through the back of the pelvis as you try to bring the legs in towards the chest. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, maybe squeeze the legs in a little bit more. And then let's place that right foot down onto the mat. And same thing, we're going to keep the legs exactly the same shape. So really just let the legs tip over. The legs do not move. Left ankle's glued to the thigh. Stand down on that left foot. If you can, holding the outside of the ankle, or maybe just take the arm out to the side. And then turn the head to look over the left shoulder. Let that left shoulder blade drop down. Continue to press the left knee away from you, so don't let it drop down. And then let's inhale, coming back up through center, releasing that left leg down. Arms down by your side, feet hip distance apart and parallel. Press down through the palms of the hands and then peel the spine off one vertebra at a time, coming into your bridge position here. So we're going to go not for our traditional bridge where we lift the sternum up, but we want to keep long. So shoulders, hips and knees in line, focusing more on just activating through those hamstrings and the lower part of the glutes. Press down through the soles of the feet. There's a small pose here to just strengthen the back body. Keep those lower ribs in. And this is where you're going to need your block if you've got it. So if you've got it, just grab it and then grab your block. You're going to place the block underneath the back of the pelvis. So it's got to be on the flat part of the pelvis. Make sure it's not on your back. It's a little bit lower down, and you want to have a sense of it being flat, like a bit of a table there. So it's really supporting the back of the pelvis. And then from here, you can just let the hips rest down. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. Feel free to adjust if you feel like it's not stable. And then hold behind the thigh or interlace the fingers around the shin. This might be enough for you, but if you can, start to take that left leg away. And if you don't have your block, just do the same position, but you won't have your block. So press the inside edge of that left foot forward. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. We're trying to stretch out our psoas muscle here. So deep hip muscle that goes from the inside of that left thigh up into the lower back, actually attaching up into the mid back to the thoracic spine. Let's take one more inhale. As you exhale, bring that right knee in a little bit more. And then first of all, let's bring that left foot flat onto the mat and then release that right foot back down. Arms down by your side for a moment. And then swapping it over, bring the left knee in, interlacing behind the thigh or around the shin. Bring the knee in towards the chest and then start to take that right leg away. Flex both feet. Reach the inside of the right foot away from you as you draw the knee in towards the chest. Deep, easy breaths. And then let's start to bring that right foot back onto the mat and then take that left leg down. Press down through the feet to lift the hips up and then place the block off to the side and then lower the hips all the way back down. Let's take a twist. Take the arms out to shoulder height and turn the palms to face up. Bring the legs up into your tabletop position. Actually, before we go into our tabletop, just shift the hips slightly towards the left. Bring the legs up and then dropping the knees over to the right hand side. You can take that right hand on the top of the left thigh and turn the head to look over the left shoulder. Letting the left shoulder be heavy. And we're trying to reach the left hip away from that left shoulder. So we're trying to open up this side of the waist, that left side of the waist. And then let's inhale, bring the legs back up through the center. Place the feet down, lifting the hips up through center and slightly towards the right. And then bring the legs up to your tabletop and then dropping them over to the left-hand side. Maybe the left hand comes on top of that right thigh. And turning the head to look over the right shoulder. Right shoulder blade heavy now. And then let's bring the legs back up through the center. Place the feet down, bring the hips back towards the middle. And let's bring one knee in at a time. Squeeze the inside edges of the feet and inner thighs together, taking hold of the forearms if you can. Try to press the back of the pelvis back down onto the mat, taking an inhale. As you exhale, lift the head and shoulders up, trying to bring the forehead towards the knees. And then on your next in-breath, releasing all the way down. Taking one foot down at a time, arms a little bit away from the body. Extending the legs away from you. If this is too strong for you, you can come back to our first position where we just drop the knees in towards one another. That might be quite nice to do before you take your Shavasana anyway. Otherwise, extending the legs out when you're ready. Just allowing the eyes to close completely. Just taking one deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Just allowing the breathing to settle back into its natural rhythm. Have a sense of letting go. Stay resting here for as long as you need to. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.